Hi, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Culturally Distressed, our original podcast where we discuss anything that's culturally related. That's if you're confused about anything, we will bring it up and we'll discuss it. Um, anyway, I'm Miyoko Sakatani. I am a second generation Japanese American or Nisei, and I'm a straight baby boomer. And, I've been pretty culturally distressed pretty much all my life. And with me is my co-host, Loic.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Pichot. I'm a gay millennial comedian, and yeah, French. Obviously, that's where the accent is from. So that also created a lot of culturally distressed moment in my life.
Mm.
How you look absolutely stunning, Miyoko.
Oh,
Like, where are you going afterwards?
thank you. I'm wearing red again. If you remember, I wore red last week because of Valentine's, or
Yes,
a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was. And so now we're celebrating Lunar New Year.
nice. So
So,
you're going to a Lunar New Year party?
correct. This is actually our third one.
Oh wow, you guys are busy.
So it's a gala thing, and there's always the dragon, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
celebration. And then I think the New Year, the big New Year's parade in China, San Francisco Chinatown, will be happening in another week.
Oh, nice.
So we will be there too. We'll be helping out actually at the parade.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
Anyway, that's why I'm wearing red. But let's check in first. So tell me about what's been going on with you since the last time I saw you.
Yeah, so I feel like lately I've been really focused on my stand-up and just like in writing mode, which has been really nice. Yeah, it's been really flowing, so it's been good. I have a couple shows coming up in March. I'm gonna do a 15-minute for the first time in
Wow.
March, which yeah, I'm very excited about it. And I'm also gonna perform at my favorite place ever, which is like Akbar. It's a gay bar, and every Tuesday night they have a show, which is a lineup of queer comedians and allies, and it's always so much fun, and just the energy of this room is incredible. So
It's
I'm
called
just
it's called Akbar,
Akbar, yeah, Akbar. It's in Silver Lake.
which
Um,
means God.
what's that? Sorry.
Yeah, it's God in
Oh,
Muslim
okay. Well,
language.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, really cool. Yeah, and so actually, I was at Akbar in the audience a couple of weeks ago. And if you're in LA, Tuesday night, 8 p.m., it's a free show. Highly recommend. And sometimes they have like celebrity guests like surprise drop in.
Oh.
And 2 weeks ago we saw Conan O'Brien because
Oh,
he's
wow.
hosting the Oscars
Right.
again this year, and he basically tested Oscar
Oh
jokes.
my God.
So yeah, it was so cool, and it was just like such a blast to get a preview on these jokes and feel like you're part of the
Yeah.
process, because then he's making decision, and it was really cool. Yeah, he showed up with like he had a bunch of papers, and we're
Oh
just going through
wow.
jokes. He had one of his writers in the back, I assume taking notes. He's just so effortlessly funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's so charismatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I like him a lot.
yeah, it's just yeah, I feel like it's one of those guys where it's just impossible not to like him. It's
Mhm.
just like, yeah, a bundle of joy. So yeah, it was really great. So yeah, I feel like lately focus of my life has been, yeah, comedy. What about you, Nuko? What's new?
Yeah, so I've been involved in comedy too because I'm writing some stuff for our comedy show, which is
Yay.
end of March, and we'll share more about that later.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so since I saw you last, and we were in person together,
Yeah, that
so
was so much fun.
that was, and yeah, so I think probably Lunar New Year events have been pretty much all we've been doing, and anyway, life has been great as usual.
So do you follow the recommendation? I mean, obviously wearing red today. Did you
Yeah.
wear red for all the Lunar New Year party? On the day of, did you actually like wear red and gold? Like, do you follow all the rules around Lunar New Year?
Well, they're not really rules, but yeah, it goes on for a week. It's actually
Okay.
and that actually ended on February 23rd.
Ah, okay.
But the celebration continues.
Nice.
And red is a very lucky color. And
Hmm.
so I notice a lot of people don't wear red, including Chinese American people. And it's interesting to me. Some people, I mean, I've heard somebody say, "Oh my God, I haven't got anything red in my closet." So I'm not quite sure I understand that. I mean, but
Okay. Okay.
what can I say? Yeah, I try to, be as much of a part of the tradition as possible.
Yeah.
I was going to talk a little bit more about that with my culturally positive moment.
Okay. And if I just a side note on that, so I was actually like, I actually wanted to wear something, and I realized I don't have any red on
Okay.
my in my wardrobe, so I stole one of Patrick's shirt to wear some red. Because like I had a meeting and I was working from home, and I showed up in a meeting, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh my God, you're wearing black. It's like bad luck." And I was like, "Oh my God, I need to change." But another question on that is because like I feel like Lunar New Year is usually associated with Chinese culture.
Yes.
Is this also like a big celebration in Japan?
No, the
Okay,
Japan follows the Gregorian calendar, so
okay,
we're January 1st. Um, so I'm participating in another culture, and I had to learn a lot too. Like, so this is the year of the horse,
the fire horse
the
I've
fire
heard.
horse.
Yeah.
Yes. So what's your horoscope? Chinese horoscope? Do you know what animal?
Yes, I'm an ox.
You're an ox, okay,
Yeah.
and I'm a dog.
Oh, okay. Look at us.
Anyway, so yeah, so I feel very privileged to participate in Lunar New Year's, but the main countries are Vietnamese,
Okay,
Vietnam, and Korea,
okay,
and China, and so there's big celebration for Lunar New Year's in those cultures.
nice.
Why Japan became part of the Gregorian calendar? I think it had to do way back in the history. The government did not want to be a part of that Asian
Mm,
calendar. So anyway,
okay,
I think that's how it happened. But yeah,
okay.
our big celebration is on the regular New Year's.
Okay, nice. And so I have another question. So my TikTok is basically half comedy and half spiritual content. I feel like at this point, I've heard a lot about people into like astrology and everything. That fire horse is a very unique energy to channel. It's very fast moving. What are your beliefs around that? Do you actually believe that this year's energy is going to be like potent and fast moving, or like? Do you, I don't know, do you, yeah, I guess, are you into like Chinese astrology?
Yeah, I'm learning that too. But yeah, so our theme for today are fetishes, fetish. So
Hmm.
I'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about our theme.
Ah, okay, perfect.
But I want to ask you about your TikTok. You say part of it's comedy and part of it's spiritual. So
Yes,
what do you mean
my,
spiritual?
my algorithm is basically either like people making jokes or people talking about spirituality,
Oh,
and
I see.
sometimes it leans into astrology
Oh,
and
I
those
see.
kind of
But
things. Yeah.
you personally aren't putting TikTok, spiritual TikTok.
Oh, no, no, I don't. I just do comedy on
Yeah, that's
TikTok.
what I was wondering. I said, wait, I don't know about that.
Maybe one day, I actually read tarot for my friends, so maybe someday
Oh,
I'll.
do you really?
I do, yeah. I feel like it's I don't know. I've always been fascinated by it, and I think I started diving into it. Like I initially thought I would be using it as a storytelling tool.
Mm,
Because I was like, when you think about it, there's like archetype and situation, and I was like, what if I'm ever, facing a writer's block and I need new ideas, I could like throw some cards and just see what characters and story comes through it. It might, unblock me.
yeah.
But then my practice became very spiritual with it. Like I don't check the card too often, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. There's something about me about it where I feel like it's a great way to check your energy, if that makes sense, and have some guidance from it.
Sure. Anyway,
Um,
so I expect you to do a tarot reading on me, and maybe.
Next time we meet in person, I would be honored to.
Yeah, great. Anyways, let's flow into our theme for today, which is
Mhm.
fetish. I'm not quite sure how we came up with fetishes.
Wait, you suggested it actually.
Yeah, I know I did, but what can I say? But it was interesting because right before we started the podcast, you brought another angle in that I didn't even think about. But anyways, let's start with
Yeah,
you. So tell me about what fetish means to you, what
yeah.
what it
I mean, the
how it fits into your life, and do you have fetishes that you want to
just I. Oh my God. That's not where I thought the conversation was
Yeah,
going. Like, because to me, the theme about fetish for us was really more around the idea of like have other people project their fetish based on who we are.
that's
Um,
interesting because I didn't even think about that. I was thinking
yeah.
our personal fetishes.
Oh my God. I know we could talk about fetish in specific culture as well, I guess. But like, I don't know. I feel like for me, when I think about like, and maybe fetish is a very big word for it, but when I was dating and on the apps, there was so many guys that have a slight fetish for the French accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. So obviously I was on Hinge, and Hinge is a dating app, and you can build your profile, but it's kind of like more interactive than some of the dating apps. You can actually like have audio prompt and video prompt.
Uh-huh.
So of course I recorded an audio prompt so that people will listen to my accent because like you got to increase your odds on those apps. So
Oh yeah, for
that,
sure.
yeah, that was my strategy. And I remember a few instances where people would comment on it. I had one guy reaching out, and I know he was making a joke, but like he was like, you know what, with that accent, you could be like the worst guy in the world and the most toxic ever. Like I would never leave you, like just hearing your accent.
Yeah.
And another guy was like, yeah, I think send me more like a naughty emoji about the accent. And I check his profile. And when he was listing the thing he wanted in a man, number one on that list was a European accent.
Wow.
And I was like, also such a weird, specific thing to add on your wish list and at the top of that wish list.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely a fetish for those people. So
Yeah.
tell me about your fetishes.
My, oh my God. I don't think if I have any. I'm actually very I think the technical word is very vanilla.
Vanilla.
Um,
Oh, you're vanilla. No, somehow fetish got uh got got to be sexual. But the definition,
yeah.
when I read about it, it's anything that you have an obsession about, or and that
Oh.
actually stemmed the word fetish stemmed from an idolizing something. Um, it wasn't
Oh.
like sexual, but the word somehow got associated with sexual fetishes. But a fetish
Wow.
can be anything that you're really idolize or obsessed with, or you know.
I feel like we were so out of tune for this episode.
Yeah, who the hell picked this topic anyway? It's like we're talking about a topic that we both have absolutely no understanding about.
Oh my God, it's a train wreck, and I love
Oh,
it.
why are you embarrassed?
It's
I have a feeling you're hiding something.
me. No, I mean I don't know if it's like. fetish. I guess I do think like it's very like basic. I do think a tall man is attractive.
Tall man. Oh,
Yeah. I wouldn't say I have a fetish for tall men though.
no.
But they're like, oh, it's like, I don't know, I feel like there's a prestance that come with
Well,
it. Like
when you say tall, what do you mean? How tall are we talking about?
I don't know, Patrick is 6'3". I think that's great.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He's 6'3". Wow.
He is, yeah. I love my mentor. How tall is Richard?
Barely six.
Oh, I thought he was taller than that.
Yeah, I think he's 6 feet.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I always thought he was tall. I'm gonna have to measure him.
Is Please keep it appropriate. So, wait, what about you? Do you have any fetish
God,
you want to share?
this is an interesting topic. Well, okay. I was thinking of my fetishes, which I actually
Yes.
don't have. Um, you know, uh, and then you brought up other people's fetishes on me,
Yeah.
which opened up a whole nother can of worms for me. But first, the only thing I can really talk because you mentioned the tarot and spirituality and all that. So a fetish, if you want to call it, just obsessed with. So when I split up with my previous relationship, I was so in the dark. I was so lost. I was so deeply lost that I found a cottage in. Oh, I'm hearing an echo. I found a cottage somewhere in a rural area, and I lived there for 3 years with no television, with no internet, with nothing. I just needed to be in solitary. And
Wow.
during that time, I completely immersed myself in spirituality and metaphysics and every alternative um, path you can think of. So from Native American traditions to Muslim to Hindu to Christianity, which I knew nothing about, and then some Buddhism. And I just absorbed. I totally absorbed in the path. And then that brought me into things like holistic health and holistic medicine. So then I started practicing hypnotherapy. I learned hypnotherapy. I learned biofeedback. I learned, I didn't learn tarot, but I was certainly familiar with crystals and all the other things that have energy.
Mhm.
And so I would say if I had a fetish during that 3 years period of time, I was 100% absorbed in all of the spiritual and alternative out there.
Wow. You should write a book about this and everything you've learned.
That'll be a chapter in my book. I
Oh, wait, so you do have a book.
am working. I'm going to, this is, now that I'm done with my solo performance, I'm going
That's
to
the
focus
next.
on my book. And
Oh, wow.
that'll be a chapter.
Damn. So wait, what's your book? Is this about your life overall?
The book will be called, no, I'm not going to tell you the title of the book, but it'll be essays,
Okay.
a memoir in essays.
Oh, I love that so much.
So
That's
I have
amazing.
all these different stories to tell. So, well, thank you for asking.
Of course.
What
Um,
else was I going to say?
that's
Okay,
so
so go ahead.
sorry, I had a question. You mentioned like hypnotherapy.
Mm.
Can you like, is it different than hypnosis? Like,
Oh,
no, what is it?
yeah, it's hypnosis, but I'm the therapist. I'm the hypnotherapist. So
So,
I guide other people through the process.
but what's your is your approach specific on trauma or like I know some people use hypnosis to go, like past life regression. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
what you do?
Which brings me up to rebirthing also. It's a breathing practice, and it's very
Oh,
similar to hypnosis.
okay.
Basically, it puts you in an altered state.
Yeah.
So with my hypnotherapy practice, I didn't focus on particular things. What happens with hypnotherapy and with rebirthing or breathing, holotropic breathing, is that it will bring the individual into an altered state so that whatever comes up for them is up for healing. Now,
Yeah.
it could be trauma, but it could also be other things, childhood, something that happened.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I actually healed my relationship with my father who had passed away, but I never felt really connected with him and I didn't understand him. And through my rebirthing, I actually healed my relationship with my father. So, but that could also come up with hypnotherapy. So yeah,
yeah.
so hypnosis basically brings up in you whatever needs to come up to be seen and to be healed.
That's fascinating.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you could do a tarot reading on me and I can do a hypnosis on you.
I would love it.
But then you brought up, oh, you were thinking of people having fetishes on me or on you,
Yeah.
other people's fetishes on, and I thought, well, I didn't think about it that way. But then, so I'm going to tell you one story, which was kind of traumatic actually, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh no, it's all right. Maybe traumatic is a harsh word. I think all these things that happen to you that might bring up issues to me are up for healing.
Yeah.
If it brought up something for me, then I need to look at that as to why I reacted to it,
Yeah.
and I need to heal it within myself.
Yeah.
What happened is I was at one of those I was at one of those workshops where, intimacy workshops.
Wait. Wait. Intimacy workshop. We talked about how I remember the naked retreat.
Yeah,
That's in a
well,
prior episode.
that's sort of like an intimacy workshop.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to get into too much.
Oh, one day we will. That will be a topic
Yeah,
for an
okay, one
episode.
day it'll be a topic. So, okay, so it was whenever you do an exercise, you have to pick a partner.
Yeah.
And so that's the most uncomfortable part of this whole thing is picking a partner. Um, so I found this partner to pick, and he was standing right next to this other guy, and I picked the other guy, and the other guy said, "Oh shoot, I wanted to be your partner because I've never done it with an Asian." What?
That's weird. Yeah.
That was well, anyway, it was what racist, and
Yeah.
it just I don't know, it just but anyway, but it brought up to me because as an Asian woman, sometimes um, men have this what do you call it? Fantasies,
Mm,
fetishes about being with an Asian woman.
I've heard about those. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's all they want is the Asian. It has nothing to do with who you are. Or,
Mm, yeah.
it has to do with, oh, you're Asian, therefore they
Yeah.
have a fetish. Well, just like you with the French, they
Yeah.
want to be with a French speaking person that has nothing to do with you.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like when, yeah, those, then yeah, it becomes an attraction to what you represent, but not who you are,
That's who you are.
which is a major red flag.
It's a red flag, and it's also very shallow.
Yeah, it is.
And anyways, to me, it just never felt very good. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's when you thought
Um,
about. So I thought, okay, this guy's got a fetish about being with an Asian woman. So
yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry to, yeah, hear that. Yeah, that was your experience in that
I know, but like I said,
workshop.
it's good that it comes out because I know that men sometimes just are thinking like that, but
Yeah.
you'll never hear it.
Yeah.
But I heard it,
Yeah.
and just because I heard it, that doesn't mean he's the only one. But For me, every time something comes up like that, I bring it up for to look at it how I feel about it for myself, and I I heal it, I let it go, I forgiveness, understand, bringing understanding um, to why certain people might think a certain way.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
just yeah, yeah, just having compassion for everyone.
yeah. It's yeah, it's a very serious topic. Obviously, being French, it's like different than your experience, right? Because mine is not rooted in racism or like, weird thing like that. But it's actually a topic I'm exploring in my sketch comedy. In one of the upcoming episode, my character is being fetishized really hard for being French.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah. So we shot last summer. I started to launch my sketch series, but it's like at a later episode. So I think it's really gonna be out this summer. And spoiler alert, I'm wearing a brief with the French stripes and a beret. That's my costume.
It's very cute. Very cute. Yeah, that might be a good sketch. I mean, we're making it to a serious topic, but I think it could be a very funny sketch. I mean,
Yeah, and
the Asian thing too, not just French.
yeah, yeah, I think it's depend on how you do it. Yeah, I was thinking like I was prefacing, that I feel like it's easier to make fun of like I make fun a lot of like French stereotypes
Yeah.
because and that's my point. French stereotypes are not rooted in like racism in a way, if that makes sense, right? People have this preconceived idea about French, and it's very stupid and can be offensive. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's not as serious as stereotypes about other categories. So I actually love to use that in my comedy because I feel like it's a good way to talk about it,
Yeah.
but still making it about the French.
Yeah.
Hopefully can open people's eyes on every type of bias they might have for anyone. But at least I can use comedy about the French in my stand-up. No
Yeah.
one's gonna get offended.
But I think bringing comedy into what I just talked about also is important. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, some of my stand up has to do with being Asian and,
yeah,
and have the experiences I go through, but I make it funny. So
yeah,
I'm thinking maybe let's think about that for our comedy show.
yeah. Maybe we can have an intimacy workshop on
Yeah,
stage.
we need to lighten up some of these heavy topics. You know what I mean? So
Speaking of fetishes, I was speaking.
let's dive into our culturally distressed.
No, wait, I have another thing. I was just thinking about it. I was like, speaking of fetishes, I think I told you that Patrick is a comedy nerd. Like, he loves comedy, but like, his knowledge of comedy is very impressive. He's actually more knowledgeable about comedy than I am.
Really?
He used to live in Franklin Village, close to UCB. He would go there every week. He would know the name of improvisers and all comedians in LA. It's kind of insane. But my point is that I think he might have a fetish for comedians.
That's very interesting.
Is
Is he a
that-
good is he a good audience member? Does he laugh out loud?
Yes, he's usually always sits first row and will laugh. Yeah, so he's great. I do have another friend though who always try to get once in a while at my shows because she has a very loud laugh and a laugh that when you hear it, you want to laugh with her. And
Yeah.
she's also an easy laugh, and she's basically a comedian's dream.
Okay. So we
Um,
need to hire her for to come to our show.
but she's in LA.
It's okay. We'll pay for her flight to come to
We pay for a flight, okay.
San Francisco. Have you heard of
Well,
professional mourners? They hire someone to come to the funeral
we
to
go, what? No,
cry,
what that?
cry over the casket so that it looks like the person was really missed.
Oh my God. Is that a thing for real?
I think it's happened.
Oh wow,
But
that's
but again,
wild.
it has become a joke. the
Okay,
professional
yeah.
mourners, they come, they walk down the aisle and they go to the casket and they wail, ah! They wail over the over the casket. And then so everybody says, "Oh my God, this person was really loved."
So the day for my own funeral, very, very far in the future,
We'll hire
I think I would want not that, but actually I would love if my funeral was a comedy show or something. It should be a celebration,
we'll hire a
not a
bunch of
big
comedians.
show. I want a drag queen to death drop next to my, casket.
That brings
That
up.
would be awesome. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move along to our culturally distressed or culturally positive moments that we've had either recently or in our life. So, do you have something to share?
I have one, yeah, that happened recently, and it's not about French culture, it's not about American culture, it's about drinking culture, which I feel like is very prominent in both countries. Um, but like when I first moved to LA, I was, freshly divorced. I was very social, and I realized at some point I've never been a big drinker, but like if I socialize, I would have a couple of glass.
Mm,
But then I realized that I was just drinking more often than I used to, and there's obviously some like health concerns with it. And so I started doing like sober weeks. Like so business days, I don't drink. I only drink during the weekend.
mm,
And now I've had like a flare. I mean, I live with like as you know, esophagus condition, and right now it's not the best for me. So basically, the recommendation is to cut alcohol fully. So I'm not drinking at the moment. Um, but I was at a social event last week, and I feel like just when you say you don't, when you don't take a glass of alcohol, there's so much scrutiny, and I feel like it makes people around you very uncomfortable,
yeah,
as if like you're secretly judging them for drinking. And I just feel like there's so much scrutiny and so much like peer pressure.
yeah,
And so if I'm not drinking a glass of alcohol, like I don't know, I just feel like it makes people around me uncomfortable, and so it makes me uncomfortable, and then I become super self-conscious,
yeah,
and I feel like it's that thing too where like I feel like I don't need to drink to be fun and have a good time and be social.
yeah,
But then if I feel like I'm in a group setting and I have this uncomfortable moment at the beginning, it kind of like threw me off a little bit. And I feel like it's harder then to find my footing when everyone gets tipsy.
yeah.
And I feel like everyone's uncomfortable that I'm not drinking. So I know it's not a big thing. And obviously, my struggle is very limited to, people going through sobriety journeys.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge that. Um, but it's interesting to me, just like the social peer pressure of drinking culture that's very present in many cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, yeah, you're not a big drinker either.
No, no, no. Richard and I will drink some red wine, but very, very occasionally. If I have to count it on my fingers for a year, I would say we had 3 or 4 drinks of wine for the year.
Wow. Well, quality over quantity, you know?
No, but you bring up a very good point. It's so much pressure. Can you imagine what like an alcoholic has to go through
Yeah.
to stay sober?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? They're going through their own journey and it's already so difficult.
Yeah,
And then when they're sober, they have to constantly say no, no, no,
yeah.
because everyone will always try to push alcohol on them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I
But so yeah, anyway, that was my rant, because I've
am
experienced that.
on the alcohol culture.
Alcohol culture. Yeah, I mean, I'm being free with our segment. Like I talked about CrossFit culture. Today is about drinking culture. Like anything is a culture when you
Yes,
think about it.
thank you for bringing that up because that is true. It's not just that I'm Asian, Japanese, and it's not that you're
Yeah,
French. It's I'm a female, and
yeah.
drinking culture. Okay, so I'm gonna the what you brought up is similar to I'm a vegetarian. I
Mm,
became a vegetarian when I was going through that 3 years in that cottage, uh,
yeah.
and it's the same thing. When I go out to dinner socially and stuff. it sort of makes people uncomfortable, because they like to eat their meat and prime
Yeah.
rib and their chicken and everything. And I have no judgments about that. I have no feelings about people what other people eat. It doesn't bother me, at all. But it bothers them because they're
Yeah.
uncomfortable that they're eating all this meat, and here I am a vegetarian. But
Yeah.
it's not a cause that I'm a vegetarian. It's not like save the cows or save the
Yeah.
it's not that at all. I did it for health reasons back then, and and that's where my focus is. It's not like how could you eat that
Yeah.
that animal?
So
That's
can I ask you, is Richard a vegetarian too?
he's half.
Half. Okay.
He mainly eats fish.
Okay.
I do eat fish. I'm a pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Okay.
um, he eats very little meat or chicken, so
Okay.
he's not quite like I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's the same thing, making people uncomfortable or, um, you're uncomfortable because of
Yeah.
that. So, but drinking, I think, is very powerful, a powerful pressure uh,
Yeah.
socially. Anyway, so let's talk about my culturally positive. It's during this Lunar New Year. So, like I mentioned, I'm Japanese and that I don't celebrate Lunar New Year's. But because of Richard's association with the San Francisco Chinatown Rotary, we do a lot of events that involve the Chinese community.
Hmm.
So when Lunar New Year comes around, we are very active participants in that. And so this last gala that we went to, the hostess was a Chinese American, and the audience, the people who were there were mostly Caucasians and or non-Asians. And so she went through the whole Lunar New Year, the horoscope, how it started, what it means, and it was really a nice presentation. And I just felt that these kind of cross-cultural events, and a lot of the white people were wearing Chinese jackets, which
Yeah.
out of that setting, it probably would be culturally inappropriate to wear ethnic clothing. But she actually encouraged everyone to wear something Chinese, and so they did. And so I think in that environment, it's fine, and it just felt really good to have cross cultural events where people are learning about other people's cultures and
Yeah.
embracing their cultures. And so my positive moment is as a Japanese, and I'm usually the only Japanese there, is feeling very accepted and embraced by the Chinese community. And so,
Oh, that's amazing. And the part you were talking about, around the outfit, you talked about this in the pod in the past, right? How there's, basically a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation, which is, completely different and
yeah,
obviously okay to
yeah, good point.
honor the culture by, dressing. Like if you're going to an Indian wedding, right, you're honoring that culture by,
Yes, yes.
um,
That's a good example.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said it. You talked about it.
Oh, I
I remember.
forgot.
Yeah, it was one of your culturally distressed moments. I think you were invited to a party with an ethnic theme.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. That's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, yeah. I keep tabs on everything.
Oh, that's great. You remember more than I do. I don't know what comes out of my mouth.
You know,
It's sort
if
of
you ever, if you ever need a ghostwriter for your memoir, I have stories for you.
yeah, I come as prepared as I can, but then I noticed that a lot of things I've said through the podcast has been very spontaneous and out of nowhere. I'm saying things, and then afterwards you will say something like, if there's anything you want me to edit out, I will.
If only the listeners knew what we've edited out of this podcast. Some.
Yeah,
Insane stories.
the reasons why, the reasons why we felt it was important to edit them out. Do you remember the reason? Do you know the reasons why?
I mean, it depends. Usually, if it's something that you don't necessarily want to share. I know sometimes I realize for myself, I have a tendency to like be an open book with my life and Patrick, and I also feel like I want to protect his
Yeah,
own privacy, if that makes sense.
that's that's
Yeah,
one.
but what were you gonna say?
Yeah, that the privacy of other people that you mentioned,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and family members possibly
Oh, yeah. I
possibly
know.
watching the
I know exactly
podcast.
what you're referring to. Yeah.
Anyway, it's been lovely chatting with you as usual.
As usual, always a pleasure.
And it's so wonderful for all of you who are there listening to our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
please come back. And
And we have a show coming up at the end of March at the San Francisco Playground, first comedy festival ever. Miyoko and I will perform the last weekend of March. So you can find more information about the tickets going into the Playground website. So San Francisco Playground, right?
Crystal Playground.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, we're very excited.
And we'll give you more specifics as we get closer.
Yes.
Thank you. Sayonara. Thank you so much for joining us. Uh,
Merci. Au revoir.
and be well.